Town of Baltimore. Everyone, please rise for pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
No public hearing. Mr. Kislev is not here yet for that one.
And maybe, I think I'm only a minute or so early, you know.
Well, we're right on time now.
Because we'd really like to, so he said
He's coming, he said he'd be here.
he was gonna bring
New maps.
new maps, yeah.
Yes.
Because I don't really see us doing anything with what we got here.
Okay, yeah, no. And I thought maybe there had to be corrections to the application.
Well, I'd like to have the new maps when we're doing it.
Yes, no, he said he'd be here, he's probably just running a little late. I didn't get any word that he wasn't gonna be here. So, if you wanna move on to the.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna go to that one right now.
All right,
So we have Sean here.
Oh, you're here for Tortoise Ventures?
Yes.
Okay, you come on up. You have any maps or?
They're right in front of you, underneath the Kislev map. Everybody's, I kind of peppered them.
Yes.
They're the underneath the top one, so the bottom one.
Yeah, we're gonna go to that one next.
It's a bigger map than I do.
So this is, trying to visualize what is this, the old Teams Road.
It's 5,000 feet from County Route 26. That's like by Silver Creek.
Yeah, it must be by the park pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about this area. I'm in Saratoga, but these are my clients.
Sean is here
Yeah.
because,
The surveyor.
the original one, the surveyor was gonna represent it, but he couldn't be here for this meeting, so that's why we are graced with her today. So somebody can be here for the application.
It's just past the park. The park's right.
And were there any houses on these lots?
No.
Like this was open field prior
Yeah.
to the woods.
Yeah, it's all wooded.
This is all
Land,
wooded.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know there was a sign up there, land for sale, like 35 acres.
This must be.
Yep, that's it.
This is it.
Yes,
And they
this is it.
subdivided
And
it.
They have not subdivided it yet.
Or
That's what
going
this,
to.
yes.
Gotta be pretty close to the park, yeah.
It is.
Yeah, if you're
It's
like
up
in
a-
the top corner of the.
Yeah,
It's a ways. There's a shale bank across the street.
Yep.
On that.
Yeah.
Where the property owners live?
Florida and Tortoise Ventures, she's in, Indiana. And then there's one in Florida.
So they're not local, nobody's,
No, they're not local.
so basically they just bought to subdivide it. So,
Well, yeah, she
we know-
decided to subdivide
Doesn't
it.
sound like they're gonna move up and build.
Yeah, they're subdividing it and they're gonna sell them, separate lots.
So, do we have a letter? Okay, right here.
Yeah, we have a letter of authorization for Sean.
Sean, not to you.
Yeah, you set that up real quick.
Pretty basic there, 24.15 acres, all the same size.
Okay.
And they did soil evaluations already.
I'm sure they're buildable, you know.
Pretty expensive septic system.
There's no septic center, but
No, they said that, systems typically for, biological, for downstream gravel bed, fill bed for dispersal, typically 40 to 45,000. If it were permeable soils, it would be 10 to 15.
well, sometimes there's enough, you know, sometimes you go right to shale, sometimes enough dirt there, they can do a conventional system.
Hopefully,
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Just looking through part one here. See if I checked off. Does any portion of the site or proposed action or lands adjoining the proposed action contain wetlands? You got checked yes. There's wetlands on it?
In the back of the property, there's a stream,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
very back of the
Yep,
property.
all right. Take care of that
Okay,
stream.
so the property line is.
It might not be as wetlands, so.
Yeah.
Looking at state or anything, you know.
Yeah,
and it's a dam, old dam.
so,
That's not right.
I mean, you put it down as that, and it's no issue, really. See, that's in the back, it shouldn't affect anything you're doing.
Wonder if they had a mill or something there.
Yeah, there's a dam in the creek back there. I wonder what it was from.
Oh, there, really?
Over here.
Oh, damn. Does that go down? Oh, you know what? These must extend all the way back down
Mhm.
to, if you went back in that valley from, what's the old bar
Right.
there?
Silver Creek?
Yeah.
Silver Lake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joe, remember Joe?
You got property
Yeah.
that nobody owns.
yeah, that's all, that the whole valley down to there is.
Right off of
Yes.
26.
Because if you go down 26, you go down to that hollow,
Yeah.
you start back up. These must go all the way back and border around that,
Anybody does.
Huh.
you know,
Somebody just uses it.
because these are pretty deep lots.
Yeah.
There's lots
Yeah.
out there.
100 foot,
I was looking for that
Yeah.
one.
so,
Yeah, I think the first time that I went by it, my GPS took me on the back side of it, going down some road on the back side of it. Is there another road right?
oh, you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah.
26,
Yeah,
but it just goes in just a little bit.
Yeah. yeah.
Landlocked. So,
But then you file for.
Yeah, that whole valley all the way down to there, that goes right on up to, if you came up over Yetney Hill.
Oh,
That
okay,
keeps on going, you know where Tom Salisbury lives,
Yeah,
all up
yeah.
in there?
okay.
That valley goes right on all the way up through there. It's funny, it's a ridge to fly over, it's just. it's like,
Yeah. I should wanna go kayak down
Yeah,
You're not gonna
I don't think
kayak,
so.
you're not gonna kayak, yeah.
there.
That's a mosquito swarm.
No, I'm just curious about the.
What are you curious about?
Oh, Prendergast, did,
Unknown owner on a parcel there.
Who are you gonna
On an
contact?
adjoining parcel,
Yes,
does it have a number?
yes. It's 15.00-1-27.
I'm sure I could look at it quick. Yeah, if you guys want me to figure it out.
Well, they're gonna have to mail somebody something.
Yeah, I'm sure
Notification.
something will come up.
Which side is that on?
Oh, right here.
Right here.
just so you know, this,
Unknown owner.
this guy here is, systems are pretty,
I would have think the,
there's, I think other engineers would debate that,
with the septic systems, you
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
yeah,
Good.
yeah, I've worked with.
Well, if you can give me some names of some other
Well, I
people.
can't, but, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I'm just saying. you know,
Well, water might be a harder issue up there.
we
Yeah.
shop around.
If you accidentally scribbled something on a piece of paper.
you know, also this, surveyor should have found out who the, there's someone owned that property at some point.
So there's
The
another
surveyor is
piece
the
in
one
Albany
who
County
filled
the
out the
same way, you
application
cannot
for
find an
the-
owner.
As well, he's the original one with the,
Okay,
authorization form. And then since he couldn't be here,
No, I'm talking,
we got one for
yeah,
Sean.
the unknown owner.
Yes,
Right.
right.
Anybody see any problems with it? Everything seems like, I think the acreage is all right on it.
Yeah. that's-
Yeah.
So, they don't own any of the land other than these 3 parcels?
No, not in the area, no.
So if everybody's agreeable, we can do part 2. Is that like 30 filled out?
I would almost like to see their name, the landowner's name on the map besides here, but up here represented. You know, totally,
Bless
and
you.
then the breakdown.
A reject,
I mean, the information's here, just in different areas.
You have part 2 for us?
Yeah, isn't it, the short part too should be connected, no?
I think it was
Nope.
part 1.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll run through a part 2 and,
On here, where it says that
That's
it's,
it, environmental.
for 3
Okay.
units,
Yep.
right?
Gotcha.
Yes, I believe there was a statement made that they were, to sell.
were you
Can you
with,
speak up?
you have a card or anything that you're with?
Is it?
I do in my car. I can-
Oh, it's on.
That's the wrong one.
There's a couple of things going on here.
Right, so is it for sale or?
Do you just need ID or do you just want my
No,
card?
no, I
Okay.
just wondered, yeah, were you on?
We need one conversation, I think, so Robbie can pay attention to what he's doing here.
No, that's okay,
Okay.
I was just,
So does it matter if it's to sell for
The,
3
uh,
lots
the
versus
letter
of
authorization.
residential lot?
who are you with? The outfit? The company, the real estate agent?
Residential lots.
Yes,
Wait,
yes.
what's the name of the company?
Berkshire Hathaway.
Berkshire Hathaway, okay.
I don't know if I want to do this with this driver as well. I'm good. Show them.
Okay, I'll run through part 2. Everybody's good?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, will the proposed action create a material conflict when adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use of intensity or use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No. Will the proposed action have an impact or create a CEA? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Proposed action impact existing water supplies, wastewater? No. Proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? No. Proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. I guess first thing we probably ought to do is, have a motion to accept this as a minor subdivision.
A motion to accept the Tortoise Ventures LLC as the minor subdivision on Old Kings Road, Hanford.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So accept the application. I'll, your vote on accepting the a negative declaration on environmental.
A motion to accept the negative declaration for the Tortoise Venture Inc. minor subdivision.
Maybe a second?
Second.
Second by Josh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we're basically accepting your application,
Okay,
given a negative declaration for environmental assessment form. And I guess we can just move along and schedule a public hearing.
Hmm.
You know, do you know whether they have intentions to further subdivide these or there's no,
No, they don't. This is how they wanna, sell each lot.
Well, actually, they
itself.
can for 5 years.
yeah. I didn't know whether by some chance they're putting, you know,
Yeah,
like the
true.
one we just did, putting a deed restriction on it.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea.
I mean, we can't say, you know, but just a suggestion.
What, to put a deed restriction on it?
So they can't be further subdivided or?
Mm-hmm.
Are they accessible if they were subdivided? If they,
If they're further subdivided,
yeah,
I'm not sure if the frontage would match the.
Well, you have
that
a
far
frontage
into
of, yeah, you got close to 400 feet of frontage. So,
yeah,
yeah, could be something, could be done flag lots, you know,
yeah. Mm-hmm,
so,
mm-hmm.
just kind of looking down the road a little bit.
Yeah, I'll let them know. I mean, I don't have the right to say.
Right, well,
What they
don't
wanna
of
do,
course.
but, I'll let them know.
We don't either, but if they came into a public hearing and neighbors showed up and you said, hey, we're not gonna further, there's a deed restriction, so this can't be further subdivided,
Mm-hmm.
carries a lot of weight,
Yeah, it does.
you know?
Yeah,
That way they don't know, I mean, they know they're looking at 3 lots, not 6 or more,
right,
you know?
right. Okay.
Could even do more.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I mean. Could end up with a-
2 acres
It
could end up-
really depends on how they wanna market it, you know,
Yeah,
because some people might wanna buy it so they can subdivide it and resell it or flip it. All the people who wanna buy it, to put a home there, don't want neighbors and they wanna keep it the way it is. And they would look for that.
Right.
So whatever has most value, we've been doing a lot of major subdivisions in this town the last 2 years. We had a lot of covenants on there, and one of them was, you know, single residents, you know, couldn't subdivide anymore.
Right.
And they found that to be beneficial to them, because,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd hate to have to put a, you know, house here, you know, if there's a neighbor's house there and they pop one in the middle.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really up
it's
to
might
you.
something you might want to reach out to them on.
Yeah. So if they wanna in the future subdivide even further, now would be the time because they would have to wait 5 years. Is that what you're saying? or-
Well, no, I'm just saying if they want to, make it more appealing to, well, depend on,
To the town.
well, it's the town for one thing.
Mhm.
And secondly, that adjacent neighbors, they're already living there,
Yep.
that's, carries a lot of weight.
Okay.
And it might, I don't know, like Bobby said, what clientele they're going after, but sometimes it's a real selling point too.
Yeah. If somebody wanted to put in like
They
a small
know they're not
neighborhood.
gonna have somebody 50 feet away from them, own the house.
Yeah.
Remember the development because of COVID-19? All the city people that wanted these good pieces of good sized lots,
Mm-hmm.
so that they were escaping.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people.
So these maps need to be amended.
Okay.
You need to have landowners' names up there
Right.
on that. Application needs to be amended as well. Have the names included in here.
For the landowners.
That can all be done before you come back next time. Simple stuff.
Just this one, right?
Yep. That's all we thought.
Yeah.
And have it added to your application as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like I say, reach out to them, you know, that certainly, like I said, if neighbors come concerned about it, being further subdivided down the road and very much possible, then
Right.
that would certainly have less pushback.
If they put a deed restriction on it. Okay.
the last few subdivisions we've had, they did put deed restrictions so that they couldn't subdivide
Mhm.
the lots. Because the people, when they come to the public hearing, are very concerned about the wells, septic.
Yeah.
You know, in one house, it makes a good difference in three.
Right. Right.
On each side.
So you won't have, as many people pushing back on it.
I don't, I know there's no way of knowing how much water is on the property. I do know the people at the end of that road there, and they have an issue with water. And the last house that just went in, they drilled and they had no water. And they had a hydrofrac just to get it.
Oh, really?
So I'm not sure they're a mile away from that. They're just at the end by 26.
Which way?
They're towards Route 26, down this way, just about a mile down.
I know. it's
Just
like
off from the
rock.
intersection there.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean,
How deep did they have to drill?
I'm not sure how far they
Yeah,
went.
so pretty deep, huh?
Well, they didn't get anything.
Oh, okay.
But I'm learning more about it because one of the neighbors is concerned about a new house going in.
How deep were the wells, Bobby?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the-
Bypass the water.
That's one of the big concerns, we have public hearings, people come and say,
Mhm.
yeah, and if, like I say, if it can be further subdivided, that, I think helps.
Yeah,
We don't have as much,
right.
you know.
And you won't have as many people complaining or getting upset
Oh,
about it,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let them know. And that's an issue for the next next meeting, right?
Well, yeah, if we
Okay.
schedule a public hearing.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're familiar with that process at all.
No, I won't be
Okay.
the one
Okay.
coming
Oh,
next
okay,
time.
Okay.
I'm just a sub.
Well,
I'm a nobody.
you'll get a form, all these people have to have, notification by mail between receipt.
Okay,
Including non-known.
Yeah,
So Santos
Yeah.
is going to be handling that end of it?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. So everything will go to him, right, from this? Or do
Yeah.
I send it? Do you send it to me and I send it to him? Or do you guys send it
What-
directly to him?
no, you would have to do it.
right, I
Okay.
can't tell him what he should do, so you'll just take what they said and let.
No, I know. I didn't
Yeah.
know if you guys had something that you had to send to him.
No, I think
So-
all we would do is, you can tell them that the maps need to be amended with the names,
Yep.
and the application also has to be amended with the names, and,
He should know that.
yeah,
Right.
the covenants,
Before-
you might wanna talk to the owners about that, and, then public
Just like
hearing,
a map.
and then we will have the, amended
Keep that
maps,
one,
right? And go from there, so first the public hearing, so people can.
I'll let
comments
the
for us, and He
owner
should know
know,
how it
yeah,
goes too.
Yeah. he
about the
should.
deed
He's been in
restrictions
front of us
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we should leave it at,
That's nice.
rather than schedule a public, I
before. Yeah,
mean,
they're just,
we'll have them get a hold of us if they want us to schedule, we'll go
Yeah.
forward with it,
Okay,
Okay,
so you guys, who's ever in charge of this, has to notify our office here, April, if you want to go ahead with the public hearing, taking into consideration all of the items that they have to achieve before the public hearing.
and that is
All
what
these things
what
should be
date?
done.
Like,
That
Next
is
month.
next month,
second Thursday, same as this month.
June
June 12th,
12th.
and that's just amending the names, right? Like getting the names
on the
there,
maps and
right?
applications.
to be sure, whoever's handling it from Santos, maybe contact April.
And she'll
Yeah.
go through the list of what they need.
Okay, I'll just have him reach out and
That's her best
I'll
bet.
talk to the
Andrew-
owners about the
Andrew
deed
Shepherd.
restrictions.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll just table it, he can reach out to me, and then,
When do they have to reach out to you by to get it on the table for next month?
Within the next week to 10 days tops, I would think.
Okay,
Because they have to send out notifications to the surrounding property owners for the public hearing. And all-
certified mail and get
Isn't it
response
2
back.
weeks minimum, before the public hearing? They
I
have-
need everything together before, 10 days before the public
No,
hearing,
but they
but I
have to
don't know.
send the mailings out, I think it's 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you're right.
So,
So, by
actually,
the end of next week.
Yeah.
The sooner,
for sure.
if he's gonna, if he wants to do a public hearing
next
next
month.
month, he really ought to get a hold of us within the next.
okay, because I know he does.
Yeah.
So
Because
I just want,
April will have a list of all the surrounding property owners and their addresses, which all have to have a certified letter.
Mhm.
of the-
okay,
And it has to be mailed within a certain time frame.
right. So as long as we get a hold, I have Santos get a hold of her
Thursday.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
Thursday next week.
by Thursday next week and he'll be back by then.
Okay,
Okay. And if they wanna take their time, then it's fine, we can do it in July too.
Yeah, I don't think they want to.
Okay.
But thank you. Yeah, I think, they're planning on having it. at the next meeting, so I'll
Okay,
just reach out to them and have them.
Okay,
great, thanks.
okay.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Are you taking that one?
What?
Do you wanna take that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give the
Okay.
staple,
Yeah,
that's the one
fine. I got
that
copies.
Thank
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're all set.
It was so nice
It was nice to
meeting
meet
you.
you too.
Huh?
You can go out this door if you'd like.
Okay,
Right out
thank
the
you.
corridor. Thank you.
that's got the part two.
Yeah.
filled
Okay,
out,
perfect.
signed. So,
There's no name
This
on
is
it.
like the other that's coming.
Huh?
I said,
Hey,
doesn't look like the other one is
Just look,
It's right
you,
here.
which,
Oh,
You snuck
look,
in.
okay,
we had you on first, but
Good evening.
we
as
went
long as
on
he
by.
gets heard, I'm sure he won't mind.
Yeah, I have more copies of the big ones.
Those are the ones everybody's been waiting for. I think the part two is right on that application, but if you need a different one to fill out, just let me know.
Oh,
When you
okay,
get to the part two,
all right.
if you get there.
So look at the acreages, because I think that was kind of confusing before. Trying to think where we're coming up with a total acreage of 1.573. Is that what the new, what is your, by the time you put all your stuff together for the new lot?
Yep.
It's gonna be over 2 acres?
My lot? No, it's more because
No.
I'm also buying the back lot from
Well,
Mr. Boyle.
yeah, but you're gonna, this is all gonna be combined.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be like 6, I think.
Oh, like 6 acres?
Yeah,
Okay,
because my lot right now is 0.85, I think, or 0.88, and then I'm buying, I'm buying the big lot that goes like all of that around and then all the way back.
so I thought this new map was gonna reflect that.
But the new map is for the subdivision of that parcel.
Okay,
An application is only for subdivision in New
Yeah.
Baltimore, because from here back then, that's the Coxsackie.
Yeah.
So I mean, they didn't include the back lot because they said it's not related to New Baltimore. So,
Yeah.
obviously I can ask them, but then, it's gonna be just like a
I mean, you're
huge,
eventually going to, we just don't want it to show up as just a small subdivision up here.
Well, he has permission then to speak for James.
Mm-hmm.
We got that letter. Okay. So the New Baltimore property, I mean, it's regardless of James owns all this, he's creating then the small lot. He's actually creating 2 non-conforming lots.
From a non-conforming lot. Yeah.
Well, actually, his parcel is conforming. You consider
I
it's
thought
all James' property.
Oh,
He's got enough land,
right, okay, you're
you
right.
know, he's
Looking
not
at it that way,
non-conforming
yes.
now.
Yep.
But when he does subdivide it, you know, he is creating for us his will be non-conforming. And the piece that he's selling this gentleman is also non-conforming. This doesn't mean anything other than, you're gonna have to get permission from the ZBA for us to.
oh, I know that.
And you know that, 'cause we talked about this before.
And the public hearing, and like, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the final map, like, I think, and I think everybody agree with me, they want to show this
Joining.
joining to that. You know what I'm saying? When you
No,
show
I-
the final,
I understand, I'm just trying to think how to reflect that on the subdivision map, because this is the subdivision map. So obviously, like, the back lot is not a part of the subdivision process. So I'm trying
Right, right.
to think
no,
how
but when you
to,
do your final,
yeah,
map for the parcel, or you get for the whole property.
but it's still gonna be 2 different maps, I think, one for Coxsackie, one for New Baltimore, because
Oh,
I still
indeed.
will have 2 tax IDs, right? One in
Well,
New
well,
Baltimore, one in Coxsackie.
You'll have, right, but when it's all said and done, it's gonna be one deed.
Yeah,
So this should be showing that it's gonna join with the rest of the property.
okay. So,
But also, our regulations also require 40 feet at the road, where you got 30.
I think I was
We,
at the,
yeah, we talked
I was
about that with
the
Bill, and he
CPA.
said,
I thought they were going to do it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where we left off with that.
yeah,
No, they
think it-
said that's not a problem.
it
Just
wasn't a
put the
problem.
40 feet in.
yeah, the gentleman, I
Did they
don't
come up with
remember
40?
his name on the,
Okay.
it was
the
ZBA board.
zoning board,
They said that if I go to 40, then Mr. Boehm has even like less property.
they didn't wanna
Because
push
they
it
already
to
got
the
too little.
40,
Because
they
then-
didn't wanna push the 40.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
I think
Yeah.
All you want is a
that's something the
driveway,
ZBA would have to
Yeah, I
address as
just need the
well.
driveway, so basically I
Yeah,
just
they
marked,
didn't
Right.
wanna
just
push
marked
that
the end
40
of the
foot.
driveway.
Okay,
as
well,
well.
then in their resolution, they'll have to address that too,
Okay,
because this is considered a flag lot.
Yeah.
And we're just going by what our code says, that you need 40 foot.
okay. Because I think I asked them about that, because I remember you mentioned that before.
Yeah, yeah.
So I asked them and they said that like if it's, the one gentleman was very concerned about like Mr. Boehm and he's like, now like no more than 29 and like if you get like 11 more, then basically like they have to, because Mr. Boehm and surveyors, they want to create like a rectangular lot.
Yeah, right. right,
So
yeah, I
if,
get it,
if
yeah.
it goes even here,
Yeah,
then
then it
obviously
makes-
like
yeah,
they kind
yeah.
of like.
Well, you're 63 in the back. I don't know if you can give a little back to them that way and
Right.
cut it up.
So I don't know. We basically like what we did with that line, we marked the underground utilities. Because underground along the driveway, I have the buried electrical line is
Mhm.
here. So basically they just did, I think, 4 or like 5 feet setback from electrical line and that's how they draw the,
Okay.
basically the line of the rectangular. So there is like access if something to fix the underground. So I don't have to cross the property again.
Okay, so it's on yours.
Yeah, like this way, everything is on, it's because, again, like as I told you last time, in the deed, it was saying that I have like 25 feet right of way where the driveway is. So I basically like start digging like right on the side of the driveway, thinking that that's my right of way, because the driveway is like what, like 10 feet maybe. But then apparently it wasn't like that.
Is this gonna be a new line here?
That's gonna be the line between
Is
of
he gonna
James.
retain ownership in Kasaki, James?
No, he will only have the parcel in New Baltimore. So his parcel gonna be in New Baltimore.
Well, I didn't know if by bringing it up to this line here, it would give him a, 2-acre conforming lot.
But then he will have a small piece in.
Well, or in Kasaki, but his one parcel would be,
No, I understand, but I think his idea was that he just want.
you want to get out of there altogether.
He just said like, I just want to have like one parcel, one
Yeah.
tax ID and done.
Okay.
So that's why we spent, I think, 3 months trying to find a town line between Coxsackie and New Baltimore,
Mhm.
which wasn't described like anywhere.
Yep.
So the guys went to highway, and on the highway they found the monument, and then they linked it somehow. So
I mean, I don't see where it's an issue, because I mean, the house is up here, so septic and well, I don't know where it's exactly, is that the well?
Yep.
I mean, so as long as your septic isn't within 100 feet of that well back here, then
it's not like you're gonna put in a new septic system.
right now the septic is marked over there, so that's my septic right here.
Oh, so you're well away from his well, so it's not, even if it's not conforming, you should have the separation for well and septic. So. Okay, well, gonna go through this all again for the ZBA,
Okay.
and,
So now,
I wonder how big that is,
We're gonna,
if that would make it.
oh, make it 2 acres?
motion
Yeah.
Refer to the
I mean,
ZBA?
it's already an established property line of his.
Yep,
And,
Yeah.
so he's gonna have, two tax parcels again, but. I mean, that's something the ZBA might ask.
okay, well,
I mean, it's not like they're creating another parcel and putting a house on it. It's just getting
Hmm.
onto the other one. I think that was the whole idea with the 2-acre minimum, right? Was so you're not putting more houses on. This is just kind of dividing it over to him.
the houses are already there.
Yeah.
okay, well, I think it's non-conforming situation and making it at least a little better in a way.
So, who writes the letter to the ZBA? I mean,
Probably.
there's two issues that need to be resolved with this.
That poor girl.
For them.
Just have to give
Would
him
you,
a letter denying that,
okay, Yeah.
that he has to be, he's being referred to ZBA.
Okay.
And you can put him on the agenda for next month.
Do we have to state the two reasons on that letter?
Oh, yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Okay.
For,
Make it simple.
Non-conforming lot size
okay,
and, non-conforming road frontage.
okay, perfect. I mean, thank you.
But I do the public hearing after the ZBA for you again, right? Not for
No.
the ZBA.
if the ZBA does
So
public
if the
hearing.
ZBA approves, then after the ZBA, I do the public hearing, or I first come to you, then you tell me the public hearing, and then in a month.
The ZBA more than likely will do a public hearing,
Okay, so they do the public hearing, not you.
because they're the ones creating the variance.
Okay,
So I think they were gonna do the public hearing on it, because they're, and
We
then,
would think, yeah.
but it's not the time yet now to send the letters for the next ZBA.
Oh, no.
First I have to go there, then they tell me to send the letters, and then I come in a month with the letters, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
You're getting us down.
Like, I think like a year ago, I did pretty much like the same thing in Woodstock. Not in Woodstock, in Saga, it's just like where I live right now. It was pretty much, but over there, like I was just adding like like an addition to my house. And it was like less than 25 feet setback. Over there, it took like 5 months,
Yeah.
so.
We're faster.
Oh,
No.
So I know now about the procedures.
Okay, here's a present for you for, to give to the ZBA.
I can print more.
You can keep them and.
Or, yeah,
Oh,
or.
perfect. I can bring them.
Also the ZBA.
Oh, perfect, thank you.
Yeah, there you
We can
Why kill
skip
some more
back,
trees?
back and
Yeah, let's
forth,
say
those
something.
lines.
Just make sure you put it in the.
Put the left right there, kill the trees. That's not- yeah.
I put sticky notes on everything.
And when is the next zoning meeting? It's next month, right?
Okay, 11.
Will be June 4th.
Okay.
4th. It's the first Wednesday of the month, I believe. I'll get back to you on it,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm pretty sure first Wednesday of the month.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.
Right along.
Okay, we're here
I'm
for-
not sure why Mr.
I'm
Schultz
Yeah.
is here, so
I mean,
I was thinking maybe we would ask him what's up.
I'm here for the station.
Station, oh, right, the gas station,
gas
but they're not
station.
even on the agenda tonight.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Tonight was the,
Well, they didn't get their ducks in a
They
row,
didn't, right?
oh,
so,
well, does that give me a lot of time to speak?
I think your big point was your mailbox,
And the third lane on 9W.
that's
Yeah,
nothing we have any control
Right.
over whatsoever.
Right, but 9W is turning lane from the bridge down.
Correct.
And now you have all these businesses. And now you're saying tractor trailers are gonna be coming out of there. And the hotel is right here. And you're not gonna put a third lane in. Tractor trailers do not pull out and make a right-hand turn and stay.
None of that's us,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
state
that's
road.
all
DOT.
that's all the Department of Transportation, they're the ones who decide if it's necessary in that spot.
Right,
Right.
DOT has been notified about this,
exactly.
if-
And she was here last,
correct?
correct.
So if they decide to act on it, I mean, if you want to contact them and prod them about it, well,
Ask them if they're planning one.
Yeah.
We don't know.
we have no control over that.
We're not saying you're wrong or right, but we have no control over telling DOT that our
Yeah.
What
citizens
their
want a
plan is
third.
even.
I'm sorry?
You have no control over their plannings.
No, but DOT is aware of the project, and like they said, you call DOT up and ask them if they have future plans to put in another lane there.
Oh, all right.
And let them know that you are concerned about it and you're a
Well,
neighbor.
it would have helped if I knew earlier than last month. I mean.
That isn't something that would happen, I mean,
Right.
those lanes south of the thruway there took years.
Putting that much traffic into that short little area where people live too is like, why do you have to have tractor trailers coming out right onto 9W? And like I said, I live right there. They go around trucks going into the hotel now.
Yeah.
And they end up in my ditch. There was a mail truck that ended up in the ditch, and there was a car that ended up in the ditch. And that's just that part of 9W. And we have wide, it's wide on the side of the road. And now you want to put tractor trailers right there as I'm pulling out of my driveway. So I think the town does have a little something. I should have been notified a little bit earlier, so I could have brought this all forward, I guess, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well,
But I got the letter last month, so that's when I showed up, but it was kind of like all said and done.
There is a fair amount of tractor trailers already with the motel.
Oh, I know there is, and I know how they pull out of there because I live right across the street from there. So you can't tell me that they don't take the left lane because I watch it every day.
When did you buy your property?
29 years ago.
9W's been there as a state highway with truck traffic for how many years?
Oh, forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
So when you bought the property, you knew it was a state highway.
Sure did.
All right.
Also, when I bought the property, it was a farm across the street. But I don't care what goes on across the street. I just want it safe for me because I live right there.
So then,
I have family,
Well,
elderly
what we're trying
family
to say is
that
you're
come
gonna have
to
to
my
talk to
home,
DOT.
you know what I mean?
when Albright wanted to put in their propane gas, the
Station.
yes, the opposing attorney was here saying that there was, traffic was too heavy there. And there was just a study done a month before, and I brought the study from DOT. The traffic is minimal
Nah,
in comparison to other areas of state highways
Mhm.
by the,
Well, I'd
by
like
the
to-
standards of the report.
right.
So
Well,
that's why we're saying you're gonna have to talk to DOT.
it's also your time of day too.
Time of day,
I'm gonna tell
time
you
of day
that.
is the same for everyone. You're gonna have to talk to DOT.
All right.
I would hope, while you're here, though, I would hope that they're approaching you in regards to your
Yeah.
mailbox.
Yeah.
Because that was clearly brought
That
up.
is right.
but I thought they said his mailbox was not going to
I'm
have,
pretty sure your
They
mailbox is
moved,
where
they
it,
had it moving.
They'll be moving.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's not the
what was
move.
discussed at
During the last
meeting.
meeting, when it was brought up, she said it wouldn't have to be moved,
Exactly.
and then Rich Nolan said if it does have to be moved, they will accommodate you. That's what they
Yeah.
said the last meeting, it's not in writing, it just was what was
it's in our
said.
minutes though.
It's, yeah, well, I guess it is in writing. It was in the minutes,
Well,
that,
if I have any correspondence with them within the next month, I'll say, hey,
Yeah.
address.
I will
Have a
definitely
reminder.
make sure that I bring up
Yeah.
Mr. Bushell's concern
Yeah.
the next time I hear from the engineers and stuff from that project.
All right.
I mean, that's the only thing we have any control over
Maybe
is
we
to see
should
that they
put a-
address that.
Maybe
Right.
we should put that in a memo to them,
Yeah,
so it doesn't
absolutely.
slip through the cracks.
Yeah, maybe we put it, you at
I'll send it out on
been
Monday.
here and, or some to that effect, that
Yeah.
we're concerned about it, so they need to address those concerns.
So when is their meeting?
Depends on when they get all their stuff together,
Right.
There's-
And will I be notified of that? Or could I
It'll,
be
the agenda
notified
will
of
be
it?
up online
Yeah,
Yeah, see,
and
you
you can
gotta
check it.
get the agenda so you know what's,
Okay,
you're missing
all right.
if you don't.
If I was you, I'd be more concerned about having their exit across from my driveway to
Yeah.
my house. I know your house is a little elevated, I haven't been up there. But if I got headlights shining on my house or reflecting, I'm gonna see it on the windows or screens. I don't know how we could address that, we never had this issue before,
Yeah,
but
I don't see how you can change, address that.
I know, well, unless there's some kind of, tree foliage or something that could be put
That would have to be put on his,
on his
on
property,
his property.
closest to the road to try to mitigate that. I mean, that's to me, would be one thing that would tick me off.
Yeah,
Because I mean, at nighttime, you gotta always have that.
How
I
high
have
up-
it every
Well,
night.
I sit up pretty high.
he does, he says.
I was
Yeah.
paying attention to that last time because you said something about that.
Yeah, and we never really looked at
Sitting
the
and
grade
looking.
that they were doing,
Mm.
you know?
Well, I mean, if you eyeball the road and eyeball his house when you're driving by. Yeah, sometimes.
Right.
Mhm.
And being up there, like I said, you know, that part's not as much of a concern to me.
Do you get light traffic now?
Huh?
Do you get light traffic now as the car goes by? Is anything reflect?
You know, I don't pay attention to it because I'm so used to it, you know, so I don't hear the noise. People come to the house, they say, oh, it's pretty noisy, you know, but when you live there, you just don't pay attention. I was paying attention to sitting on the hill and see where the tractor trailers are coming out of and trying to pay attention to the lights. And I think that would be, I don't think that's gonna be an issue,
Mhm.
you know? I
Okay,
just think the traffic flow. there
Unfortunately,
is-
Route 9W is a noisy road, period.
Oh, it is a noisy road. I'm not even
And it's
complaining,
gonna get
Yeah,
worse.
It's right there.
I'm not even
There.
complaining about the noise. I'm complaining about
If you compare traffic
safety
from
of
5
running
years ago,
across the street.
it's really getting bad. But it's to avoid some of the going on the throughway and having to pay higher tolls. So they're using 9W more and more.
I really don't see that much.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I think it's just more of, just you've got more people, more, you know.
Right.
More population, more local deliveries, et cetera.
And I'm not complaining about any of that. I'm just trying to keep it safe there.
This Kiewit project
Because I
is
live
really
there.
added a lot,
Great.
but that'll be through, that'll run out, so.
Honey, of your lips to my heart, that they get done, but they've already filed 3 different changes of the program in the public notices of the Times Union. They've had to change the directions of some of their, the honest they got. I said, how do they get approval? Well, now they gotta go each time, public notices. 1 or 2 of them were in the town of Baltimore.
Yeah, who's giving them the approval? Something.
Beats the hell out of me.
Yeah, so, I mean, they're not coming to the
No,
town.
no, they don't have to, they know what they're doing, avoiding us.
Okay, well, appreciate you coming in.
All right,
Just watch our town website for our next meeting, see when they're scheduled. They had quite a few things that, hoops that we were asking them to jump through, and they haven't done it so far, so.
you should always just ask the neighbor. They usually know everything.
All right, thanks, Ken.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, we have the maps for Ken, right?
Yep.
Okay. Planted Lakes were, you did send an email to Laura, correct?
Absolutely.
One of our conditions, we're not gonna stamp it until, everybody's paid full.
Oh,
Not that I think there'd be a problem, but.
Mary Beth did get back to me and she said that their office is good. I'm just waiting to hear from Laura.
I thought they'd be
'Cause
here.
I wasn't-
and have fun.
The town isn't gonna be enough for the legal fees, so I think that's gonna come out of the escrow account. You talk to Jeff at all about that?
I haven't seen him this
Okay,
week.
I'll call him, yeah.
I sent an email, but when I heard back from Mary Beth and, Delaware, and they said they were all paid up, I sent that out today and let Jeff know they're paid up. We're just waiting on to see if Laura, has any outstanding bills.
Well, they reviewed the
They did.
plat and all that, et cetera. I think those other things, so.
So there's 3,
And what's near that?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Let me slide that up.
1, 6, 4, so there's 3 lots. Did you see
For
mine?
Ken's?
Well, ultimately, there's 3 lots on the map.
Oh,
When I looked at the lot line adjustment, where it says 0.64 acres,
On this?
yes, In our resolution, I was thinking it might be a good idea to put in parentheses the actual acreage of the created lots, because when you look at this, that's, you don't know if they're conforming or non-conforming. Because it's a lot line adjustment, so you're talking only 0.64 acres being moved to another parcel, and what is that new parcel's total acreage? That's what I was talking about, putting in parentheses.
Okay,
What do you think? I thought it'd be, provide more clarity if someone's looking at it.
I'm gonna road, because all you got is paperwork.
Changing
Good
this.
night, Ally.
No, not that.
Have a
In our
good one.
resolution,
Oh, yeah.
because all we talk about is 0.64.
So you're changing the resolution?
I was recommending to put in parentheses 0.64 acres from parcel bearing tax map 28328 to parcel 283-2, what the
Put the
actual.
total acreage behind each parcel number?
Yes. Mhm.
Do you have that number? Do you know for each parcel?
Yes.
I can put it in there and I can amend this, like, if you want me to go do it right now, I can
Those
print out
ones-
a brand new one,
Those
or we
numbers
can.
there and there.
So we're
what's
going from
3-28, what's that one?
9.28, let me just make sure that's the right parcel number. 28, Yep.
Get that out of your way. Okay, you make me nervous.
that's becoming 9.288, 9.28 acres. And then lot 2, which is,
28003-2?
yep, that is becoming 29.62 acres.
Okay,
With this number 3 added to it.
Yes, but that's right here on the map, it
Yeah,
says
yeah.
plus 64.
right, that's just the space that's
And our
getting moved
resolution says we're moving 0.64 acres,
from this one to that one,
so we have the acreage
the
for
total
this
acreage.
one and that one now. After it's done, which is
Okay.
what this is about.
All right, well, here, I'll give you one copy and he can, we need one copy for us.
Yes, one paper copy.
And then, he'll be all set.
Okay, do you want me to go amend the resolution before we read it, or do you wanna read it as?
Well, I guess we better reread
You have
it.
to rewrite that first paragraph.
Yeah,
I think it'll only take a minute if you want me to do it now.
Okay, right.
Well, it has to be read that resulting in, that's, you know.
that's not, yeah, resulting in, let me look how
This girl should get some rubber bands too.
rubber beans.
I don't know if that really makes sense. This is just saying that it's moving,
Well, they said they're just moving to 0.64, and Marie's having, and so the whole paragraph's gonna have to be written, saying that he's not only moving to 6.4, but she wants to add what the final plat sizes are gonna be.
so then after the first 28.00-3.2, then it would read resulting in.
Yeah. Or,
The new total.
yeah, they're really working. We'll see how they come do.
It is what it is.
You just can't add the numbers in there without rewriting
Yeah.
what's happening.
Making it a little clearer, yeah.
Oh.
It's like we're gonna get a foot and a half of rain tonight.
Really? I believe you. Well,
I mean, I had a straight up 4.5 inches in my rain gauge.
wow.
No, I mean, my gauge is right too. This past week, 4.5 inches. I just dumped it out tonight. It was right at 4.5 inches. So you were, how long were you down in,
Oh, we just went from Wednesday to Monday. We did 3 days in Shenandoah Park
oh, yeah, that's nice.
and around there. And we drove up the night before, stayed the day at Gettysburg, 2 nights at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
3 days down the park, or 3 nights down the park.
We went up to see my son, Jake, who lives in Michigan,
Mhm.
last week. We were gone a week. And Shelley says, well, let's get a Airbnb for 2 nights up in the Upper Peninsula, they call it. I didn't realize Michigan's that long. Because it was right across from Sault Ste. Marie there on the Canadian side, you know, right on Lake Huron. It was beautiful, really.
You didn't travel through Canada to get there?
Well, on the way back, because he lives only about 3/4 hour up into Michigan, we came around by Ohio.
Mhm.
On the way back, it was Tuesday morning, we left like 6 o'clock in the morning, and still, I mean, we were 5 hours getting out of Michigan. And because by the time we came down and headed over east to Canada, and that was driving the speed limit there, 75.
Mhm.
So we were running 80 plus, and still it was 5 hours to get down and out of Michigan.
This is all you get.
So I get, it's fine.
That's everybody should. I have 2 items I want to ask the board about. And of course, it involves solar, and I was thinking after finding out that the, plan was not yet approved for the last, the last project that we just, gave an additional year to, that even though we don't have the authority to approve or disapprove, what we're going to,
the new one?
put together as a planning board, I think we should recommend maybe, since NYSERDA
I'm missing 2.
can't provide,
Sorry.
advises the community to do either and/or escrow and the bond, that maybe we should recommend that we think that it should be both, because the first decommissioning plan only has a bond for $114,000. And since we know these projects better than probably anyone, we know that that certainly isn't going to be enough to decommission the solar projects if the solar companies aren't around anymore, or for whatever other reason, they might not do it. So, like I said, I know we don't have the approval authority, but we can recommend to the town board what we think would be appropriate. And I don't understand why they're not following NYSERDA and doing both to cover the expenses that the town could possibly
Well,
incur.
they put up an escrow account for all their, for all the legal and.
No, I'm talking about the decommissioning plan. That's totally different. When,
Well,
when they come in here
that's
for
the
the
bond,
approval,
that's the bond is for.
$114,000 bond.
yours?
That's negotiated.
Well, it's not negotiated. My point is, it's not in the best interest of the town people. So as a planning board, we know that's valid, that it's not, I mean, that wouldn't even pay for the engineer if we ended up as a town having to do the decommissioning plan. So I would think that we would want to be on record saying that.
I'd have to review the plan.
Mhm.
Not only are they the solar company, the landowners, and if the bond fails to do the cleanup, town can put a lien on their property.
What's the difference? If they leave town.
They can't, they're not leaving town, they own that property. We'll own the town home, have control of the property. They won't be able to sell it, they won't do anything with it.
Who would want it?
Does that make the town responsible then for cleanup?
No, no.
No,
Who's responsible for cleanup if they're not around?
Oh, that was a part of putting a lien on the property.
Well, my point is that's all legal baloney when the bottom line comes to the taxpayers having to be responsible to pay to clean the site up. Because we can talk about, oh, yes, we can put a lien, we can do that, but sitting here, we all know what the realities are. Well, anyway, that's my recommendation. And the second item I was thinking about is that each solar company agreed to do the soil test borings, but we have no idea if they were done or not. and what the results were.
I believe we did get results. I know we did from Hancock.
I don't remember ever seeing results.
I saw.
Or maybe you saw, but
There's soil results.
we have test boring results.
Yeah.
Definitely from Hancock.
Okay, what about the other two? So where are they?
Well, the first one, that wasn't a condition. The one was done up on the hill. It wasn't a condition.
I thought
The
that-
Baltimore, I think they did. I think-
I'm not sure about New Baltimore, but I'm pretty sure Hancock.
I know Hancock did. I saw.
Like,
I looked through 'em.
Okay, well, I'll stop by. I'd like
Yeah,
to see 'em.
absolutely, absolutely.
Would
Okay.
anyone else like to see them?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Would anyone else like to see the results of the test borings that were done for the Hancock project? And did we get them for the third project?
For the New Baltimore,
Yeah.
I'll check.
Okay,
I
good.
think we have them, but I'll definitely check
Okay,
again.
good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah.
I'll, for everybody's agreeable, I'll read this revised lot line adjustment resolution. So, whereas Kenner Busman wishing to move approximately 0.64 acres from parcel 28.00-3-28 resulting in tax map number 28.00-3-28, total acreage 9.2 acres, to parcel 28.00-3-2, total acreage 29.62 acres. Located in High Rock Road, the town of Baltimore submitted an altered lot line application at the February 13th, 2025 planning board meeting, and whereas draft deeds were submitted and approved by the town's attorney, and whereas required maps and deed descriptions reflecting the acreage change were submitted at the May 8th, 2025 planning board meeting, therefore be it resolved, the planning board does hereby approve the maps and deeds for filing in the Greene County Clerk's office. Parties are required to execute the boundary line agreement and deeds, recorded deeds and maps with the Greene County Clerk within 60 days of approval at no expense to the town. Your motion to,
A motion to approve the Kenner Busman lot line adjustment resolution.
second? Bill, second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So that's revised. Okay, just a couple little things. Review our approval of the April 10th, 2025 Kima Gas Station Convenience Store Public Hearing Minutes. I hear a motion. Did everybody get a chance to do that? Okay. Hear a motion to accept the minutes?
A motion to accept the Chima gas station public hearing meetings held on April 10th, 2025.
Second by
I second the motion.
Chuck, second it. Okay,
Can I,
all in favor, I'm sorry. Okay, do you have, was there something, Matt?
well, I'll wait till later.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and was it something on the minutes?
No, not on the map.
Okay, okay, we got one more here.
Yeah, we'll wait till that's off.
Review and approval of the April 10th, 2025 regular monthly, meeting minutes.
A motion to approve the April 10th, 2025 regular planning board monthly meeting minutes.
Second.
Second by Josh, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, Bill, I'm sorry, go ahead.
In regards to the gas stations, would we have the ability to have insight on, or would the town board have, any jurisdiction on maybe, requiring new gas stations to possibly have generator backup? So in the event of, loss of power in the area, gas could still be gotten for generators or whatever.
Yeah, but
Good idea.
Is
some
that
of them
something that
do.
we would have?
I would think that would be kind of their call, whether they want to spend the money to do it, and it seems to me,
Or
to
to make it a
I'm
requirement?
guessing, that would be a whole local law that they'd have to pass. I'm guessing they're gonna have food and whatnot, freezers in there. I think they're gonna probably wanna have that.
I thought I heard him say they were gonna put in generator, but I'm not sure about
I
that.
mean, most of them
Yeah, most
do
of them do.
anyway, because they don't wanna lose all their product.
I know in Nassau County where I had moved from, there was a requirement, at one point to, that all new gas stations that went in, there was a requirement to have generator backup for the pumps. And then come Hurricane Sandy or Superstorm Sandy, it became a godsend, because there were a certain percentage of gas stations that had, the ability to pump gas. And I know the population is different between here and there, but I saw the positive results of it. And it's something that can benefit the community. If something similar was.
Well, it'd have to be a local law and town board rep.
I think it could be a recommendation by, you know, when we review the project, that can be, you can ask them about it, because I know that the gas pumps don't usually work. They have generators, but I think it's just for the inside and interior for the freezers and stuff. Because most of the time when the power goes off, you can't get gas in this area.
Yeah, but you know, all the power pumps are coming from the building.
Mm-hmm.
So if they have the generator for the building, they're more than likely gonna get the pump.
Right,
You
they
would
would have
think-
the option. to-
You would think
if they
so.
wanted to.
Yeah, you would think so.
The closest that I'm aware of is BJ's Wholesale Club up in Albany, but that has generator backup for the pumps. So,
We're all gonna be electric cars pretty soon anyway, so we're making.
Horse and buggy.
Or hydrogen, right?
I don't know, it was just more of a, general question, but.
Well, they'd have to change zoning to require it, and the town board has to do that.
And unless you can convince them to do it on their own. Right?
It's a question you can throw at them
Yeah.
when they come up. Yeah. One quick thing. That hillside house, well, it was the Team Challenge
Mhm.
building came up for sale. Had a fair price, and people got whacked with all kinds of calls, and what can you do there, what can you not do there, et cetera, et cetera. As far as I know, now, you were being told they couldn't go back to having a residence there?
It was, I think some confusion, but I think it's been resolved.
Oh, okay.
So
Because
what's the
that,
resolution?
The uses table says it's permitted, single family in a commercial district, it says it's permitted, so.
there's a lot of single, and
Right, yeah.
On the whole
Oh,
nine
yeah,
yards
yeah.
corridor.
and
And then other question was a multi-family
Yeah.
use, and it says it's, you'd have to come here and get a special use permit to do that.
But is that a business? Is that considered at this point in time? That,
I think that was the concern. Is it a
Yeah.
business? If
or
it's,
is it a single family?
because it would be rentals.
Yeah, I thought it was an LLC,
well, what, but still.
yeah.
Yeah, but at one time it was a residence, and that was some discussion because
Mhm, I
it
understand.
was the hillside house in Queens, I'm not familiar with that or not.
Yes. Yeah.
For the handicapped people,
Yeah.
was in there for quite a few years.
And
Then
that-
I believe,
That is considered a residence.
well, I don't know, that's kind of,
Yeah.
that could be considered a business really too.
No, I worked on those.
Uh,
Considered a
yes.
residence, for community purposes. So that would have been a residence.
Then I believe it went to some people for a residence for a short time 14 challenge.
I wasn't sure. I
Yeah.
don't know, so I just
But I
wanted
don't know
to.
that to be fact.
I was just curious, the teen challenge might be also, if it's under, depending what agency, it might just be considered a residence
Sure,
instead of.
but short of manufacturing or something like that, I would think any use
That we can,
is
That's
fine.
on the table.
And if they have a question about it, we'd be happy to have that discussion at the planning board meeting.
Okay,
If anybody,
perfect.
so if anybody calls, I know you got swamping calls over what you can do and can't do there, so.
People were
whatever you
excited.
want.
How many people?
Several. I probably got at least 10 calls, emails that day, Monday morning.
How much property is with that place?
16 acres, 9 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, industrial kitchen, $250,000.
Oh,
Whoa.
really?
No wonder.
That's why.
That's what I
Left a
call.
zero out somewhere,
That is a very,
number one.
But a lot of the land that goes with it all falls off down behind over at Hell.
Yeah,
okay.
So I don't
Does
know.
it connect to the train tracks?
but still.
Throughway is right there, I think. So maybe the tracks are
Well,
behind there,
The
The
track,
tracks on this side.
yeah, throughway, yeah.
right?
But just the house alone, $250,000 for a 9-bedroom house,
Yeah.
that's, yeah. Now we know why.
Were the greenhouses on that property?
No,
No?
that's separate.
Okay.
Brendan Baines,
Yeah.
the attorney there, he owns that.
Oh, okay.
Used to be Baldwin's. I forgot, it was Baldwin's originally.
Yeah, Baldwin
Yeah.
Flower
Oh,
Land.
okay.
Yeah, my relative Baldwin's there.
You want
Our relative.
a motion to close this meeting?
That was, you don't remember the big greenhouses there?
Yeah,
Cliff Baldwin had.
A motion to close the
Okay.
planning board meeting?
Everybody second?
Me?
A second by Bill?
Or May 9th?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.